on, ask if you guys got any questions, and we'll go from there. I mean, pretty much the stuff's self-explanatory. I mean, bottom line is we got to pull a bunch of money out of reserves because the money that we've been claiming for a year and a half, 2 years is going to show up. We've now been told isn't going to show up. 72,000, and it says 72,000 issue paper, but if you look at the transfers, there's skulls in the first line. So it'd be $72,066.54 is what we got to pull from transfer from reserves general. And we're moving money around, like moving money out of contingency into building and grounds to cover the exhaust system, which is what we already agreed to a couple of meetings ago. Exhaust system, no. You're talking about compressor. Compressor is going to require some electrical work in the panel, but I don't have details on that yet. I don't know. I put it into the base budget, like $6,000 worth to cover that kind of stuff, but I don't know if that's enough. And no one's told me one way or the other.
Government. Let's do prevailing wage, so we have to spend more instead of saving money.
Yeah.
Bring it, idiot.
I mean, the other option is we see if somebody in the environment wants to give it to us. But okay, but you go down the transfers. I mean, the main one is the 72,6654. Because the two incomes that we've been talking about receiving for years aren't showing up. We're putting money in to the budget in so much as the money that got returned to us for Dwyer being on work comp, that came back to us. So I'm putting it back into the budget so we can use it to help pay for.
Are they compensating him fully right now?
My understanding is we pay and then we get repaid, but I don't know for sure. And this year, and when we get repaid, it goes into 1940, but the county stole like the first 3 or 4 payments for some reason. So what we got from what the county didn't take forward to through December is 16,207. And I figured we'll get at least that much again for the next 6 months. So that's what I plugged in was the two times 16,207.
So that
No. But then again, I didn't account for whatever the county stole, the fact that the county may be 2 months behind in paying, so I don't know. I just know that we're getting more than that on a regular basis. So that's what we're going to go.
Being more.
Well, I mean, because when I did the January's, you notice it showed up and it's now 17 something, another $1,800 or whatever popped up in there. But yeah, at the time I first did the sheet, that's what we had. So I just doubled it. I figured plug that in. And that gives us a total like 29,000, I think. No, more than that. 16, 16 is 32, so probably like 32, 4, 14.
4, 14, 40.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, there it is at the bottom.
so on a short-term basis, you might see a benefit because their rate of workers' comp may not equal what he's getting paid.
I'm not thinking we're going to see any benefit. I think we're going to break even if everything goes
I
right.
would think in the long term, that's what they, just like an insurance.
Yeah.
They're gonna cover their costs, right? So.
Well, in the long term, they'll probably come back and recover from us. But I mean, for right now, I think what we're paying and what they're repaying will eventually catch up because, we have to pay, then we have to submit, and then we have to wait for so it takes a little bit.
Don't end up gaining anything.
Oh, no, there's gonna be no gain.
Just kind of a bank of money.
Right, and then. But then, we pulled out of computer systems, we pulled out of mileage auto. which we never, the only person I ever used that mileage employee private auto was Dwyer anyway. And if he's not coming to work, he's not gonna be using it. That's for when he had to drive the vehicle because the one we gave him was broke down, which seemed to happen a lot. And then we pulled some money out of education, fire supplies to balance things. I haven't seen, if you look at the percentages on the long one, I think it shows like 30%, and we should be at 50% now. So I think we're still breaking even. I don't think that we're necessarily using, we're not using more than we expected to use. Now, whether they're costing us more because they're driving further, but they don't drive as often versus Dwyer, who drove almost as far more often. I mean,
Because he's not like stop.
yeah. So, I mean, and then the stuff that wasn't covered in the stuff that went out originally is the stuff in the yellow on the back. Pretty much last year, the county didn't charge us for collecting our special tax assessment. This year they are. So that's $1,880 we're not going to get as income because they're going to take it before we ever had a chance to see it. So I pulled that out of contingency. And also the vehicle maintenance outside labor. We had overspent in that category. I don't know whether that was a June, July, August. I just noticed it's overspent. So I'm balancing up there. So I'm want to move $2,759.32 from contingency up to vehicle maintenance outside labor. That just gets us to a zero. If we have more work we have to do, then we got to find someplace else to pay for it. But I mean, my thought is they've already spent the money. We need to make sure that it shows in our budget. So all told, that's $4,639 out of contingency. So I mean, contingency now is a very small amount.
Hopefully by replacing these older vehicles out less than dollar expenses and maintenance.
Yeah.
They're still gonna be general.
So we're down to like just over $2,000, almost $3,000 in contingency now. So. Any other?
Problem?
No,
What?
it was, we're on record.
Oh.
But, but, so you guys can see what's been done, you can see where the transfers are. Is there anything else you guys have any questions about? Because it's pretty much about what you want because nobody's on Zoom.
Basically. Sustainability. You just use that information for tracking reference. Okay, yeah, what I did was I plotted.
I hate bar graphs because they'll never tell what the hell's really going on. Okay, yeah, but what'd you pull? You're right, that's a pie chart, but still, it's like, where did you get these numbers? I mean,
Okay,
because
so-
if you're pulling these numbers off of our gross, which is usually what the audit does, they're all wrong.
Annual basis. Doesn't that match with?
Nope, not bit.
And what's the difference in between?
One is actuals and one is projected. And you're doing your pie chart off the projected.
This says it's the actual, it says active.
Okay, well, without having numbers here I can compare with, I don't know.
I do this, the Excel worksheet that will come from.
I mean,
Which it basically just takes the actuals from each of those items. The column that says that. Basically just taking each one of those years, that's fiscal years.
well, one year the county was reporting our actuals way out of whack. They told us at one point that we had earned $3 million and we owed them $2.6 million. Okay, so I mean,
I don't know. That what you're taking is the.
that's what county tax, it's still got it in the ED cat.
Because you yeah.
Well, I mean, the audit does, it should be, but I don't know if it is. That's what I said. Without knowing where your numbers are coming from, I can't always tell. Here, you'll need these because they're different.
I know. Go I can if you look at it. There. What I'm telling you is the call and call to action, annual office. So that's what that chart is showing. Basically takes everything that's in the audit. If you summed up all those items that are listed there, I just brought the categories down because they've got like 67 categories on. I just put them into smaller sort of group of information so you kind of see comparison categories, making things in general. Vehicle and equipment.
You gotta shuffle all these backwards, and pages 9 to 1 instead of 9
Okay,
to 9.
okay, thank you.
Versus having 16 in there for that. Or types of
But-
vehicle information.
Okay, like you're asking, let me glance back at this.
Here,
Oh, thank you.
I got it. So all that's doing is taking, like I say, taking the audit out.
Okay,
And this is just showing 1 year. Last one done.
I mean, only I could,
To give you some kind of idea of what percentage each one of the, general big categories represent.
all I can ask is if you'd actually put the amount total underneath it next time.
Print that as well. I think that's like 46,000.
For personnel?
Yeah.
Should be a whole lot more than that.
Yeah, 61% isn't 46,000.
51% of what?
Well, that-
Personnel related to 61% of the 23-24.
Yeah, what do you think the total was for 22?
Okay, 23, 24.
It was like
Okay, that's not last year, but
year before.
year before last. That's the one screwed up. It probably says 1.6 million, which is wrong.
But it was like our base budget was like 364. And then we had grant stuff on top of that. So 61% of 364 even is more than 46.
Okay, currently, I can tell you how much we spent in 6 months on personnel. And Bill,
Read you the total.
Okay,
The total for everything from 2018 to 2019 was 651,000. The total was 2019-20 was 533,000.
and then what's 23-24?
Okay.
Yeah, that's the total. Then in 2021, it was 1,338,000.
That's a-
big.
that's a bad
That was the
number.
wrong one, yeah.
Yeah, that was the biggie. Then in 21-22, it was 935,000. Next was 995,000, 996,000. And then 23-24 was 755,000. It was low because it was salaries.
Right, but so 61%
Yeah.
of
I-
that is much more than 40.
Well, one of
Something.
those things were in the EDCAT. Did you ever look at the
460?
EDCAT answer?
Was it 460? There
163,000.
we go, not 40. I thought you were saying 46,000. I was like, what? No way. Okay, 460. Whew, okay, that makes more sense. Right. All the, yeah,
That's not-
Yeah.
Staff, what they need is a permanent employee. And I think, again, I don't have a mapping between their line descriptions and what we.
So far, we've spent $273,548.38 this year. That's our half total. So if you took the 273 and double,
but
which
that
would be about,
But that would include all the pay.
well, all the stipend pay.
Yeah.
right.
I mean,
This.
I know that, the true volunteers, can just talk about how many zeros they get, okay?
Yep.
It's either $0 or it's
Zero,
$0
zero.
and 0 cents. Or in some cases, like, we get them $0. But I mean, they don't get paid.
They're.
Okay.
Here's, that's basically paid staff. Paid staff individuals.
Right,
Straight pay for benefits.
not
Okay.
benefits, okay.
At that point, that would have been, okay, the part you're reading back to would be 2 years ago, so that would be Dwyer and maybe Lugo?
No, Lugo wasn't there 23-24. He was gone.
Hey, and somebody in Samsung just chimed in. It says, why does it say I'm muted? I never marked myself to be muted. So I guess Cheryl just came in, because that's who that is, right?
Mhm.
6, 5, 4. But I mean, you're talking about stuff that I didn't come prepared to talk about. I mean, this stuff probably is what's in EDCAT. No, I'm just saying is,
Just trying to sort. Just a general perspective of costs.
I don't know.
Because when I try to look at spreadsheets, take lines off of there, make things. I lose track of it there. So, because I already had this start built from the sustainability thing, I just went ahead and added the last year's audits information.
Okay, but I
So
don't know if
you
this
look-
matches.
If you look at that bar chart, it looks like on, in a general sense, we run at about $120,000 to $125,000 per year.
Permanent.
Staff.
Well, I just said it's 27K, double that's 54, and that's all people. That's temporary, that's SHAR, that's stipends, that's everybody. So to say that we are 900,000, is that what the number you said? For permanent staff? No.
No, that was the overall budget. So it's 61% of 700 something for that year. So he said it was 460,000.
And I have no clue.
Yeah,
I mean, I didn't do percentages. I did percentages to make sure we're keeping underneath, but I don't check to see what portion was used where. That pie charts is something, no, I'm
Yeah.
saying, pie charts was
he's
Dan.
just explaining where he
and-
said that.
And to me, it makes a great picture. I mean, is it probably close to right?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, according to the numbers.
Right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right. And for instance, people talk about utility costs and all that, but generally, it's a fairly small portion of the picture,
Mhm.
right? Just to give you an idea, relative, that's really the benefit of a pipe. Now,
Right.
in terms of the bar chart, just kind of giving you the historical costs.
And I would have to pull out the most recent stuff I have and look at it. And honestly, I don't have that. I did it all in the LAFCO stuff. So it's all in there. And I got the numbers they had in LAFCO, they said they got from the auditors. Most of it was wrong.
I was gonna say what they said that the county numbers don't match our auditor's numbers.
Which you say county numbers don't match your numbers.
Yeah.
So.
None of it matches.
Yeah.
County numbers, good set of information to use.
Well, EDCAT is usually right with the exception of that one year. 'Cause that one year
Right.
they were saying we owed them millions and we had made. At one point, I think they had it down as making $11 million. And
Your audit, they're conducting a certified audit.
yeah,
So you should be able to trust the numbers when they get done with it.
well, yeah, as long, if the numbers come from auditors, should be good.
Right.
I'm not arguing that.
Right.
What I'm saying is
We
that
need to figure out.
I don't know which set of numbers they had and whether, because I just know I just went through the whole stuff with LAFCO and of the 5, I think they did like 4 or 5 years. One of them was right. So, and even that, only the numbers at the top part were right. The
Right.
numbers down below were all wrong. And I went through and I did a whole chart that said, this is the numbers that should be there. That's not what you have. And you can always tell if it's messed up because the bottom number, how much is left over at the end of one year should be the same as the start number at the next year.
So.
Yeah, and right, and
That's
they were all
no.
wrong.
It's not the LAFCO numbers, it's their audit, the person who put together the MSR, but neither here nor there on the numbers. The readout that he sent,
Yeah.
because there were so many issues and inconsistencies and because the information we gave him, Shiva is. Okay,
My point is to get, think is probably the most reliable set of information on an annual basis. I would think an annual audit done by a certified. Should be,
It should be, yes.
otherwise you lose your life.
Well, I'm just saying, what you do is, you can go in and get county numbers, just go in and look at it with, but I'm saying, if you get county numbers actual spent, then you should be able to map those and know whatever you're trying to show here.
Just to give us a general idea.
we see it.
There's no
What's next?
confusion, no, just to give us a general idea of how it fluctuates.
And what the, what the running average is, which is, if you take out the 2019, and you think that, 2023, 24 is low because Jack
Well,
was off the pay, was off for a while, and
2019 dealt with all the people that were out on, what's this, strike team stuff. So the amount of money we actually paid people was like over $1 million, because it was coming through us to go back out to them. And it was well over $1 million, closer to 2 million.
So this one isn't, it's an outlier because of strike team, not an outlier because of numbers wrong.
Right, and then you get into, I can't remember what year it was.
You're chasing such a long thing. The 120. Fair.
agreed? Would you not agree that
Okay.
the base pay requirement for the staff personnel is around $125,000 a year?
Okay, but which staff person are you talking about? Just talking
Paid
stipends?
staff.
Paid staff? Well,
Just
okay,
So if we're talking paid staff,
Lugo type people, Jack Rosebeer type people, captains that are getting paid directly.
right, so
well,
if we're
right now,
looking
that
at
all amounts to 82,000,
82,000,
and we're getting part of that back.
2,000 for the chief.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that other people aren't getting paid.
Shar is getting.
Well, Shar gets paid.
Uh,
Okay, so that gets 30, so that's about 100 and,
And again,
10.
So, but the.
Okay,
problem
but
is we
that's 2
have
years,
this
that's a year and a half ago.
us. So I get it. I appreciate it. These are beautiful. They're useful. But also right at the moment to say, yes, the 21-25 number is good to go. When I can't look back at the year itself is, yeah, that's it. It's nothing wrong. I just,
What I'm saying is, you're looking at a picture of the audits information for paid staff.
Right.
Right, okay. So the question I have is what is our current paid staff?
So I just told you,
No, what I'm asking is who's getting paid now? Who's
Shar,
getting paid on paid staff?
Shar and the chief,
Okay, so how are the other individuals who are working here getting paid?
temporary employees, and actually Shar's in temporary employees too, so like all in permanent employees, it's only the chief who isn't here.
So when you say temporary employees by contract?
My understanding is it's by contract, and that's something we'll talk about next week in closed session.
So
and then,
that's fine. I mean, I think that's a personnel related issue. The question is do we have contract policy for contract people? Is there an arrangement for doing that in our policy?
No, I mean, you've looked at policy manual as well as I have. I have not, I don't have any memory of having seen any active policies regarding contracts.
So who has pay is, how many hours will be paid and all that?
So that's something we're going to talk about in the meeting
close
next
that
week.
then.
This is a public meeting, right?
But it's not on the agenda to discuss.
A,
these
it's not on the
things.
agenda to discuss it. And
And
B,
it's a closed session
it's an
meeting.
open session right now because we have somebody in Zoom and it's being recorded. And if it's dealing, if we're dealing with,
You posted this.
Right. So somebody's on, us directors can't talk about personnel items unless we go to closed session, and we can't go to closed session right now. But you're,
and you rephrase the question
yeah,
differently.
okay, you're just.
If you want to talk numbers, I got
specifically-
numbers. Okay, which category?
So
If you can tell me what category, I'll look it up.
employees, I don't know if we've, like, if each of these years has categorized them the same way. Are we categorizing them the same way right now? Right? So permanent employees could include, so say, even though he's saying that technically temporary, whatever, one of them could include all of it, and then this one could only include a portion of it.
What, on with the current sheet, we had the bat chiefs and the permanent employees first, and then we moved 2 of them down into temporary employees. And next week's meeting, I'm moving the last of the bat chiefs into the temporary employees because they're only working 20 hours a
20
week.
hours a week, yeah.
Right, and I got the amounts that
The amounts they're getting paid is coming out of policy and
No, the
you
amount-
got that?
the amounts that are being paid, it comes out of county numbers. And I have that number. Okay. Permanent employees. I do not see a single penny being paid out of permanent employees. Okay, here, I'm wrong, one line up, I looked at the wrong line. To date, we have paid $52,755 in category 3,000.
What category, what job description?
When I look at the EDCAT reports, it doesn't give me who got paid what. It just says,
You don't know?
right,
Okay.
I'm saying, it says this category got paid this much. And it says warrant such and such gets this much money. But I don't know who that warrant belongs to.
I mean, need to know. I mean,
We need to categorize it so we know.
How do we have a workshop with financial and
This-
take care of addressing the 61% overall costs?
That-
61% of our overall costs are in personnel.
Okay,
So.
but you're not talking personnel here, you're talking permanent employees,
Employees.
which is the difference.
That's a person.
That is,
Okay,
okay, that is a
there's
category,
different,
but there's like
different
there's
words.
like
They're
5
different.
categories.
We have perm employee, bat chief, perm employee, captain, 30-hour. We've got, it says here, at full-time chief, full-time captain, 58.
We got 3,004s.
36,400 moved to temp employees with all bat chiefs, amount here set to 82,000.
And are you
Um,
talking
So
actual
all of
pay,
it's in
talking
that I'm
benefits?
seeing, I mean,
I
what are
mean,
we
There
missing?
comps in there too.
Yeah,
Work comps in that same category.
and the specific says change from 40-hour bat chief to 3 by 20 hours. Bat chiefs moved 2 of bat chiefs to temp employees.
I can get a calculator out and go down here and add up just the employees if that's what you want.
Removed 30-hour captain.
And that may be the right answer.
Okay. Doesn't include stipends or doesn't include volunteers?
So
Okay, volunteers get paid 0.
Zero.
Okay, then what's your,
Okay. Stipend.
so stop saying
Staff.
volunteers. Well, it depends on who you're talking to.
My husband's a volunteer and the only compensation he's had coming to him has been money from the state that's gone through the station and to him.
But that was
But
on
he's not
strike.
getting, he's not taking any stipend, he's not doing any of that. No, I know, but so there was money paid to him, but he's still a $0 employee.
No, we're just trying to get.
No, I'm trying to understand. So
Understand the words.
he's a $0 employee, but money is for,
He got paid.
did it come out of our budget? I don't think so. Okay.
But it, no, it may,
I'm trying.
it passed,
We
it
don't have
passed
to have
through.
any bad vibes go away. We're all just trying to understand because like you come at it from Trent perspective, I come at it from Linnea's perspective, Kirk perspective. So let's try and do like a forehead perspective. We all come together.
What do you want me to add up?
I'm not understanding what. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, and it's,
then let me look
Right.
that up. I mean.
but unfortunately, these things, you didn't let me finish earlier, but I will. Oh, I'm not trying to finish right now. It was a comment earlier, but go ahead.
People are getting paid based on activity, like. For example, stipend,
Stipend is paid for 24
Bad
hours.
Boys Barbecue,
Yeah.
speaking.
but based on them being here on that day.
Yeah,
Right, okay.
Oh, hey,
So-
so are you?
The group that's in this chart, in my perspective, based on what I see in the audit.
Based on what he's seeing, yep,
Based on.
what you think is in these numbers.
Paid personnel, categories such as team assistant chief, battalion chief, captain, lieutenant, those officer positions.
okay, so I know how much the officer's getting
Those
paid,
are all on
how
page
much
3.
chief's getting paid, and how
Three
much
of 9.
the Clerk's getting paid. Those are the three to add up. Yeah,
But yeah.
okay, I'll add those three.
I know. I didn't do any confrontation, but you did.
I did. You voted. I'm trying to clarify to you what you're asking.
No, right here, not just this moment, like 2 minutes ago. And it is.
One,
It's not even-
eight,
it
seven,
didn't- you- But it was still an important point to be made, so. Again, you just want me right here, you should be.
It was my conversation of discussion. We were talking about these documents that I had to put together. and
Okay.
you were Referencing something from something that I'm saying doesn't apply to what I was addressing. Yeah.
I'm sorry, to do it to you, I know you don't do it to me, you get. Y'all get frustrated both sides. But,
Okay, so what line is what you're describing?
so it's got the FT, you've got your firm employee chief, firm employee back chief.
Right.
Okay, person online, if you have any questions, since they're all off talking,
So Bill, do you agree with what, when I get in there is mine, on your sheet, on your spreadsheet, is it 48, 49, and 50?
Okay.
Lines 48, 41, and 50?
I didn't even look, didn't hear what you're saying. Okay, 47. 54. And 56. But those are the three you'd have to add, but on the other hand is about 60 grand of that is passed through from,
Okay, but see, you keep going back to taking all the personnel in that. When you hit 56 is stipends. The question I asked Linnea, which she said is, she thinks it's 48, 49, and 50 is equivalent to what we think is showing up on this chart. In the
well,
audit
my guess
Those
is
are-
what's showing up on the audits, the three I gave you.
is what,
The three I gave you is what I think is in the audit, but I don't know without looking to see what they have.
and what 3 line items did you think you gave?
I gave you 56, which is other, which deals with stipends and other compensations. It also,
I don't think stipends, hey, I don't think stipends is on this chart. That's my point.
you say it's not, I think it is, and
You say you don't even know what's in the.
I don't know what's in the audit.
You think it's not?
I would think that it's in the audit because it was paid out. But I'm saying even of that, you still got about 60
There's-
grand.
Okay, there's 2 categories.
What's that?
Tim,
Okay, in that case, it's only lines 54 and 47. I'll add those two. That's not what I was thinking. Okay, 47 it's at 52, 755.52 plus 54, which is 45.
But 54 line description of temporary employees.
Yeah.
Why would you put it up permanent employees category?
You just said permanent employees and temporary
I
employees.
said, that's what the audit has, 2 different lines,
Two
permanent
categories.
employees, temporary employees. We're not looking at temporary employees. We're looking at the line that is permanent.
Okay, well, if it's permanent employees only, then it's the first
That's
line.
what-
Then 47, but 47 is, for a while was dealing with both because we had the bat chiefs plugged in there before we took them out.
Okay, that's fine.
I just
again,
don't
I'm
know
not-
what the
I'm not
county
trying to
did.
Split hairs. We're trying to get this just a general perspective, running a group of people and where we think we are now in relative comparison to that running rate. You follow what I'm saying? I'm just trying to get a relative reference of those two, whether it's, perfectly a match or not is my point. My point is getting a general idea of the cost and what we think the general cost is moving forward.
Okay,
So
after we moved, okay, this chart here is after I moved the bat chief down to temporary employees. So where it's, okay, Let me finish. So on this page, we're at 64% of our what we budgeted. Now, if I go back to a previous thing before I moved the bat chiefs, which I happen to have, give me a sec. I think it's closer to like 30%. Let me go pull it out.
Yeah.
33%. So before I moved the bat chief, we were at 33% expenditure because he was getting paid out of permanence at first because as the assistant chief and he was our main employee, I think he was getting paid out of permanence. But I don't know for sure because I have no way to say this person gets paid out of this category. It's above my pay scale.
Again.
Yeah.
But. It's 10.
Get a visual,
It's
but
not-
sorry.
It's not a split hair. It's number. I'm just saying on a running rate basis, I tried to use the audit information as what we think is paid the position.
Right.
We think the term permanent employee in their audit basically refers to officer.
Officer positions, okay. Not including Shar then,
I think it probably doesn't.
does include, okay.
I think
Okay. Well, then I would think 125 might be a little low, but right around there, yeah.
Okay, so, and I just, Bill, earlier, lines that they have in the audit, it's
Mhm.
permanent employees, temporary employees.
Right.
Basically, all salaries. are
Just one or two,
categories.
Well, then the only thing in permanent employees should be chief. Everybody else should be in temporary.
Sure, not necessarily by the auditor's perspective.
On the auditor's perspective, then if they work less than 40 hours a week, they fall in
could be
temporary.
yeah.
And Shar doesn't work 40 hours a week, therefore she's in temp.
Could be.
Well, and the year you're looking at, there, we had a captain here that we don't have now. Well, in the year you're looking at, 22 years ago,
It's not the point, you guys, what he's trying to say is, we're trying to just find an average, what their cost is. People move up and down and in and out, so it's
Right.
always gonna be different.
Fluctuates.
right,
So we're just trying to find a base average at this point, just to go by.
okay, but if you're looking at today, we have one person in permanent employees. And we pay him and work comp pays us back. So for all intents and purposes, in reality, permanent employees is currently 0. Or should be close to
One.
that.
So when, okay,
Well,
so
$0, because what we're paying out, we
Right,
should
right.
eventually get
Gotcha,
back.
gotcha.
this. Well, contract officers.
Right.
Yeah, that's a question. That's coming out. So the point is at the end of well, as of right now, and then at the end of next fiscal year, when they do the audit, what are those numbers gonna be and how will they have summarized those? Will they have kept them in the same category because you put them in a different line item this last year versus the year before?
Well, so that's another part that we don't know.
I don't
because
know.
Shar would have been changed, like putting things differently every year. You know what I mean? There hasn't been that consistency,
That's the
so,
problem.
we
That's the problem
need
with
to
trying work
maintain a
in this
consistency.
workshop discussion is to know what the heck's going on.
What we need to do is form a base for this.
Yeah.
So people don't get shuffled up and down. It's like a requirement. If you're here, you should be in this category. And if you're here on this line, you should stay in this category, not going up and down as she sees fit to put them in.
Well, in this case, the person who moved them was me because I moved it into where it was. Because originally I put them all into perm because they were going to be getting salaried employees. They weren't stipends. And then we started looking at it and they go, well, this is permanent employees, 40-hour work, vacation, holidays, all that stuff. Well, then you basically say, no, they're 20-hour people, they're contractual people, they don't get paid and they don't get holidays, they don't get sick time, they don't go these, so they go in the other category. So that's why I moved them down to the other category. Whatever she's been paying them in, she's probably still paying them in. I don't change what category she pays them in. Because
But we need to look at that and have that adjusted so she has them in the correct category. Because depending on the category, it could be costing us more in a work comp situation or things like that unnecessarily.
Mhm.
So we need
Absolutely.
we need to form a baseline here. And so people are put in the right categories, could cost us more or it could save us money, but we need to get on a level playing field here.
Well, that's a question for Shar. I mean, I can't answer that
Well,
question.
that's fine, but I mean, that's what this discussion is all about.
I think that nature, this isn't a critique of your information by any means, or even how the process is working.
I'm
It's
just saying,
just to try to understand how we can utilize information we have and say, okay, how do we move forward and how does that compare with where we've been?
you're reaching back 8 years and expecting me
No,
to,
he's just showing you a generalization, that's all it is. No expectation, it's a generalization.
okay,
So,
So-
That's all it is.
so no answer,
Okay.
because I can't answer.
I'm not looking for the answer.
Correct.
I will be looking for an answer. Tell me when we can do that. But I will be asking for an answer of the people who were in this category, the descriptions of people. I want to know what the cost of those same people are as we move forward. Now,
So,
they may be being paid differently than what they were last year.
Okay, then you'd need to go to Shar and you'd have somebody pull payroll records
Okay.
to see who was working on that year
Mhm.
and how much money they made that year.
so
It's
what
not
was
a,
your question? You said of the people who are in this category.
Which I think is basically.
Okay.
I think it's officer positions.
Okay,
So.
but of the people who are in the category, what was the rest of the question?
So the question.
I want to get it right, yeah.
The question is. The team, say, team, typically officer pay, okay? And it runs about $125,000 on average. The question is what is the same group of people getting paid now? What is that same group of people getting paid now?
that's the question I can answer.
Okay,
Well, the only person that's still working for us that ever fell in that category is Dwyer, and you know his contract
so
amount.
you're using the concept that because you didn't classify him in the same position today as they did yesterday, that he's not the same type.
No,
of
I'm saying is that all the people that were officers for us before are gone. Dwyer's the only one still here.
You have three individuals. You have three individuals who are officers
Yes,
and they're getting paid.
yes, as temporary employees.
That's the payment.
Okay, but you said for these years. Okay,
I said for the types of descriptions that are in this chart.
So he's saying
Officer
officers,
position.
right?
okay, so you're asking is
Job
for
description.
officer positions.
Yeah.
What are
What
they
are they
getting
getting
paid
to-
now?
Yeah,
What is the group of officers we have now getting paid?
right, and that'll be brought up next Thursday.
And is that an open meeting discussion or is somebody gonna go, no, that can't be discussed here?
I'm discussing it in closed session because I need to get the information to you guys. You can determine whether it needs to be a closed or open session meeting because I don't know. My thought is because it's dealing with contracts and dealing with personnel information that it needs to be covered in closed session. I mean, I can walk in there, I can explain it all to you guys. You can walk right out here and blab it all. I don't know. But I don't want to bring something into an open session that maybe should be held confidentially first.
Okay, so you and I can talk about that later today in terms of the agenda stuff. And we will work on finding if there is a closed session code for it. If not, it'll be an open session. But, we will make sure that there's a code, or if not, it's open.
That is why I sent it
So,
into
yeah.
you as an agenda item with closed session, I believe.
So we'll get
And I
that
just
straightened
used the
out.
References,
today.
you know, when the contract, the chief was done.
Mhm.
We did, that was done in closed session.
Yeah, it was done in closed session, then you report out, right?
That was done in the closed session, but then he said, oh, we shouldn't have done that in closed session. We had to come back. We had to
We
convey
had to
his contract.
codify his contract
Right.
in open session.
Yeah, so I'm saying is
Right.
you gotta keep that in mind.
Yeah,
is
Absolutely,
Which
Where does it
category
fit?
it's gonna
Right,
be.
right.
Yeah.
Um.
Okay, so. Again, I'm using the audit information and I'd be happy to share the start with this Excel sheet with you guys if you want it. It's what I built when the sustainability committee.
Right,
was
right.
running it, because we couldn't come up with a good set of information. We said, county information isn't right. our, spreadsheet information was very information that we didn't have history.
Right,
And I'm like, we need history.
right. We need historical data, yeah.
Okay, the only history we may have is the audit.
Audits,
So I went back and pulled all the audits and put them into this chart, into this Excel spreadsheet. And we plotted those then and made a determination of what we thought we could afford to pay people.
right.
And so I just used that. I had that already put
Yeah.
together, so I added the last 2 fiscal years, which were in there.
Right,
And brought it up to date.
cool.
And like I said, it's hard. I'm pretty sure I'll ask Bill when he comes back. But I'm not sure why somebody hasn't mapped. Oh, it's to the payment database and to the audit lines. I would like to do that. And I'm probably just gonna something.
Okay, so,
How the
um,
lines, we think what you described probably makes sense, and he was giving me different numbers, but we came back with the numbers being, I think, what you gave.
well,
As being kind of comparative lines.
right, right. So then as we're looking at this, we have this is our single line for county stuff. So that would all get closed down. But it breaks it out so that we can try and see what's where. So what else you would,
Well, I'm not looking to do anything on this spreadsheet.
right, but you do want to see the county next to the auditor
That's
numbers.
what I'm spread-
Right, but you want to,
What I would like.
okay, what do you mean by that?
Index, I don't- But, you've got line and account.
Mhm.
So for instance, 0120 is property tax prior unsecured. My question is 2 things. One is what account number does that go to when it goes to the county? What is their account number?
Well, okay, hold on.
Because they have account numbers.
We don't send that to the county. People pay their taxes. County takes that money and puts it into that category.
So hang,
You're chasing the process of the method.
he's just specifically talking, he's not meaning that, he just used that as a.
Pick something we send to pick something in expenses.
Right.
Go down the 4,000s and find something there. Because everything up in the top part, that the county does that. We never even see a penny of that. That all gets juggled by the county.
Audit and accounting services, 109 404-305.
Spreadsheet here,
Okay,
which account line does that go to when it goes to the county? That's the map I'm talking about.
okay.
Just having
How do they,
account number for us, account number for county. Have those line up.
That's the line number.
that is the
Same
county
number,
info.
Same number.
Yeah,
maybe the
because,
same
I
number.
mean, now, Shar does something in her own, was it QuickBooks? It has nothing to do with this. But I mean, the money has to get plugged into into the page that the county accepts, and she sends it off. That's the account. That's the line it goes to.
Okay, so those are quick.
Yeah,
For every line that is in your spreadsheet, county has that same line on there.
yes.
So
And
this
it's
first
that-
column is exactly what, I mean,
Yeah,
this
if you
and
use
this
the whole
is
6-digit
exactly
number,
what,
yes.
but yeah, county uses. Well, so what had been happening that is a similar thought, but is different, is that things were being classified into the wrong category, rather than the category being different from what county. So like turnouts versus uniforms. If they need to go in turnouts, they need to go in turnouts, but still the turnout number is what county has and the uniform, but we need to make sure they're going into the
That's
right.
probably what.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah, people
Yeah.
buy turnouts. Shar gets the bill and it's got 5 turnouts and 1 uniform on it. But the first one on the sheet's a uniform. She charges the whole thing to uniforms.
Yeah.
Just a misclassification.
And
Right,
that's what's
right.
messing us up. You need to pretty much split that and do the uniform this way, but turnouts
Yeah.
this way.
But that's where you probably got the,
Yeah.
so this is though, if you just took this and this, that's what we get from county. Yes.
Cleans it up.
All right.
You don't-
Perfect. Right.
When you look at the account numbers, there's just categories. Like I said, permanent employees,
Mhm.
temporary employees, overtime,
And you want to know how those,
Yeah,
okay,
which lines.
Right.
Our spreadsheet feed into that particular
Got
group is what I'm trying to find.
The
And
words in the second, after the dash, it's got 6-digit number, usually a space or a dash,
right.
and then it's got
Like
verbiage.
zero prop
In
tax.
most cases,
programs,
the
period.
verbiage there is going to be the same as the verbiage on whatever else you're looking at.
So it may
there's
not
a
be the
f-
number, but the auditor should be using the same description.
There's a few times when it's different, because like Jack was putting things in with different verbiage, but same number.
And it's
let me
changed
give you a
obviously.
category. Match,
Right.
the line that is only consistent is communications. That's the line, communication. Remember,
Mm-hmm.
which lines on your spreadsheet would you say feed into communication?
Take me a minute.
Yeah, I'm looking too.
And I'm not.
I know, I'm wondering now. I'm like,
It's just.
you've got me thinking.
The dilemma. I have is
Yes.
Trying to make sure I've got the right lines matched up with the right line in the audit.
Right.
Well, there is stuff in the 404142 that says maintenance equipment, which would be communications.
So I would think your line 81
Okay,
and 82 possibly would be.
Telephone,
I don't know.
I know.
right,
That's
but-
telephones,
That's the question.
Right, the question, because they also didn't have a line called utilities.
right,
And
and
they
radio
could-
could be,
Yeah.
all the radio
Yeah.
stuff could be considered by them, considered, right?
Gonna have an answer.
Find out.
To me, is I think what we probably need to do is get a copy of, now with the auditors, what did they send back? They just send back things that says generically everything's okay. In the
They were
past,
just here,
but
yeah,
PDF.
Right.
PDF and it's got, lead in, here's what we do, da, 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 da. And then you have this consistent set
yep,
of lines.
Yeah.
And every year, it's pretty consistent. Every once in a while, they'll add a line that's a little different description and you're,
Right.
okay, I gotta add that back into the others, there's 0 there, but now it says. So I've tried to make sure that it stays consistently correlated.
do you want me to
Has-
reach out?
Or pretty much has been consistent.
Right,
I think that the only way we're gonna get answers to match this to that is to ask them
yeah, I was gonna say, do you
what
want me
they,
to
what
reach
they
out?
put into which category.
Cause I was talking to the auditors last week, and I don't mind calling the woman.
But I think we need to be very
Yeah,
nice and very
that's-
polite about
Well, you-
charges.
Yeah, but I would just say, hey, quick question, great, and if you're okay with that, I'll give her a call. and-
They got to be getting the numbers from somewhere.
Yeah,
So I don't know, did they take any of your information and use it during the audit, or did they only go to the county's information?
They go to what Shar has and what the
Mhm,
county
the
has.
county has.
When you say what Sharon has, does Sharon have that spreadsheet that she might possibly give them?
Or she go off.
I don't know.
I think she gives them
You'd have to-
QuickBooks and the
you'd have to
access
ask
to
her
her
what the-
computer, the access to files, yeah, right.
Clarification questions to that extent. She may be giving something, none of us.
Right.
This stuff,
She might take some of that stuff and the way she categorizes is not necessarily.
Yeah, I
the right
know.
place to put it.
right, this all came out of EDCAT, okay? El Dorado County transactions. I mean, that's where this information comes from.
Okay, so the two things I'm gonna ask, what info is Sharp providing to help with the audit, and then what goes into the different categories, how do they correlate with our current? Our line items, right, yeah. With your categories that we see here, absolutely. This is just a reminder when I'm calling, but that I will definitely ask that. Because that'd be good to know for sure. And that's the big thing is at this point, I really wanna see, like you're saying, like he's saying, like, we wanna see consistency. And so part of that will come when things there, but yeah. There's only so much,
I
but
realize there's this category,
Right, right.
that kind of thing. But in the big picture, you can usually kind of sort that.
yeah, yeah,
You're not really looking for infinite detail. You're looking for generalization.
right,
Just like the numbers, but up here, they may have kept the perfect same numbers. Description wise, the same information every time,
yeah,
but the number fluctuates.
Right.
It's going to fluctuate.
right,
You're
absolutely.
not really looking for that minor, infinite details.
Right, just
You're looking at
words for word,
fringe
what,
is the 101.
yeah, Yeah.
That's the idea.
run rates,
And then,
yep,
and then if you're looking and say, oh, well, it looks like now we're running at 250.
right.
You got.
Then we got it wrong, right, absolutely.
You can quickly pick it up.
Yes,
It's hard to do that when you're looking at this.
right, for sure.
kind of detail.
Visuals are helpful, I agree, so,
Yeah, 'cause they're
okay.
just showing us what it is, not why.
Right, so I will ask those questions, I will ask, of this part, of the people who are in this category, so I'll ask that stuff. Okay, cool, I've got those.
They have, when they give you their report, they have 49 descriptions.
Mhm.
49
Categories, right.
So you're looking at taking all of the
100 plus,
county's
yeah.
information accounts and saying they end up in 49.
So category 1 has 804, 807, 2383.
Right.
Perfect, yeah, I gotcha. A key to fit those.
Good.
All right, I will do that. Do we have, I don't even see the agenda, where are we? Oh, my
We
brain.
got way off the agenda. We're no longer on the
I
agenda.
thought you said you're pretty much empty.
Pretty much, I want to know whether or not you guys are okay with the transfers. That's my big thing, because if it is, I'm going to bring it back to the board for a vote.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you guys can obviously see something that's wrong, let's get it fixed before I bring it to the
Right,
board.
right.
That,
Well, I mean, there's a
The
whole,
50/50 is the only grant we didn't,
we didn't apply for it, but the money that we had to pay shuffle back because we missed a date.
oh, you mean the grant money
The
that,
3,800 and some dollars from a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Now, the 28,229, the money, what we put forward wasn't acceptable. But that money's still in the grant, so it's not like we're actually completely losing it. We can still go back and apply with the right paperwork and go after that 28 grand. But the money we're definitely losing is the 43,837 because it got to a point where they said, there's
Too late,
there's
too
no
long.
claim, which is, my understanding was bogus because there was a claim against it and the person switching jobs didn't want to do the work. But we got no proof of that. Dee Dee was arguing the point with the feds, and all we can do is let them do that because they play at a much higher level than I do. That's for sure. You know, I said, way above my pay grade.
not a zero, Bill.
Oh, it doesn't matter how many zeros you add to zero, it's still
I
zero.
know, that's why I'm joking.
I
not a
mean,
zero.
she's getting paid like 6 grand something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right,
It is.
it is, all of us.
I'm doing way too much work for too little money.
All of us.
But,
welcome to the club.
Yep,
and if you read Go Out, they got a solution for that. Yeah.
yeah, so,
Don't know of anything that looks.
jumps out,
incorrect to me.
right?
I mean,
okay.
to me, it's the best information I could come up with. Yes, it's a very long transfer sheet, but it's basically fixing our budget,
Right.
so it's proper 6 months out. I mean, because we kind of do the original one in June for July 1st. And then we do another one again in August for September because we have to have a permanent budget. This is kind of the December catch up and get things straightened
Mhm.
out. Yes, we're a month late with it, but the holidays and stuff got involved.
Yeah,
We'll do another one again probably in March because we have to do that, because anything after March we put in for, the county won't even change anything by the time they hit the end of the year.
He would be putting together the budget.
My understanding that him and Bella Reeve are going to work on getting the budget for next year budget by May. I'm telling him, yeah, because you only have to do, you can put the thing together in May, you have some public meetings in June, and it takes effect July 1. If everything's done perfectly, you can do that. And I'm telling him that we need to start working on it in
Sooner,
February.
right,
Okay, so it's like, and I keep
No.
sending him things,
yeah,
and so hopefully he'll start thinking about it at least by February.
He said.
Yeah, well, if he's good with March, then at least we're in the right direction. We're trying to get him off of that May date.
yeah,
And I bring
yeah,
think that.
Yeah, absolutely.
At least have something.
Well, we're still waiting to see if Dwyer's coming back, because my understanding he may be back February or March, so we got to find out what's.
We'll have an update on that next week. And
Right.
then, yeah, we'll have an idea going forward, but
Because I want to know who I'm talking to. Am I talking to Hillary?
Right.
Am I talking to Dwyer?
you're probably gonna be talking to both, but that's just, yeah, yes, yes.
Meeting this next week
Mhm.
to have a budget review status. Remember, I said that's on our list of.
Right, I saw your email with the things that, yeah, yeah,
So they're supposed to quarterly review. Again, I realize it's not done that or doesn't have any idea what that means.
I think at this
You
point,
to do that, so I just want to.
I mean, to me, you got a 9-page spreadsheet that pretty much says it all.
yeah.
Well,
And it
and
might,
I'm hoping, at some point, I'm hoping that we can, get something closer to, this pie chart type categorization, to where the budget isn't in 146 line items. It's more like, here's our categories of things, and here's where we're running relative to those basic categories.
well, I mean, you could do 6.
I'd say those, yeah, those could be something very easy to be able to
Well,
get across to people out there, but like, at the same time, all of us need to be learning and paying attention and understand, right. But going out to people, this obviously is gonna have a different impact than this, where people are like, oh, fuck. no.
Even in that board meeting, on a quarterly basis.
Right.
We don't want to spend this amount of time in detail.
Right.
We don't want it in the board meeting. What we want in the board meeting is a summation.
Yeah.
It's a summary.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
something.
this information contains a lot of bad info. Because at least, okay, I don't know what these are saying, because I didn't see you do these. But looking at what Dan Hunt used to do and what David Blaine used to do, they were basically going our base numbers off of our total county budget line numbers. And I mean, if you try to look at the county budget line numbers, it says that we make 50% of our money through grants and strike teams. Because we have 297,000 in grants and we have another 250,000 in strike teams. Not that we're actually earning that much. It's a bunch of, these are categories that we can spend up to before we have to fix it. And the amounts over in the middle, this base budget, we're working on a $400,000 budget.
So on this, you used audit info, you said? Okay, cool. So we will continue with audit info going, well, I'll get the answers to these questions. And then we can figure out which way is best for
Yeah.
communicating it. And then I do agree that, just for Joe Public, this stuff is a lot more digestible than this stuff. So, yeah. But we need to make sure we're using consistently the
If-
audit rather than the county. or-
Okay, if you're going to use the audit numbers, then you need to be able to explain to LAFCO what those numbers mean and how you got it.
Right, so then,
Because the first thing,
but we can decide, so here's the thing, one way or another, we need to decide whether it's working with county and finding out where, whatever, but finding out which numbers, one way or other, county, audit, however we come to it. But I do really like the idea, at least for getting Joe Public to understand what's going on. These, huh?
And saving time in the board.
Absolutely, well, because this saves time, because they can look at a picture rather than have to sift through, but for that purpose, I see value here.
and I see a headache. Because, well, because if you present this in a
This is
budget,
kind of a headache. to me.
It's a headache. for American people.
well, at least,
This.
but this is at least accurate.
No, but it's giving too much
So,
information.
but if we know, if we can agree,
If we can
what
figure out what the,
numbers,
but I'm just saying is whatever you put here and you put out in the board packet, that's going to come back to haunt us later. So let's just make sure it's right when we put it out. That's all I'm
Right.
saying.
Easier.
yeah,
Get them. These numbers end up being there in this category on the audit.
Oh, yes, we can say
You don't
these
get
numbers
them
go there.
right.
Right.
Yeah, as long as we can get that information.
and you'll do the work of
What I
putting it
would-
into this, so yeah.
I just want to make sure that we're comparing apples and apples.
Yes, exactly. That's all, yes. As long as they're apples to apples, I think it's beneficial to have both but have this apples to apples to get Joe covered. Yes. Yeah. Right, absolutely. But this is very good for communication. Yep,
Communicate.
right. Trending, right.
We need more people, we need more money.
Yeah. Problem.
I mean, if we can get more volunteers, we wouldn't need more money, but if we, if we get more money, we don't need more volunteers.
We have more
We can
people
actually
going,
pay people.
and this isn't just volunteer academy. It's a full academy. It's Divide Academy. Randy's so nervous physically.
Okay, anything
But-
else on the
Yeah,
agenda?
sorry.
Close this stuff out?
Questions
Do you have
on
anything
it
else we want to talk about the official meeting
before I start?
Okay, so let me close this thing. Okay, that ends the meeting.
Thank you. Yeah,
You figure out how to close this thing?
and meeting for all.